His collections empowered women, celebrated women, and yes, protected women. Are we always sitting here doing our makeup but never leaving the house? Seemingly. However, today is different. Today we embark outside of the house. I know, media headline right there. Woman with 3 children leaves home for the first time. It's a little dramatic, but this is quite true. I haven't left the house to sort of go anywhere for quite some time, so this is very exciting for me, and it'll be a nice little break away from everyday life. And one of the perks is I get to get glammed up for this, so very much looking forward to this 5 minutes of mine to get ready. I realise I actually haven't explained where I am going, have I? Just leaving you all hanging in suspense. I am going to the Alexander McQueen fashion exhibit. Now, I will be real with you. Whilst I am, and I will put in quotation marks, aspiring. I am an aspiring fashion blogger. It's a personal interest of mine, but am I in any way an expert in the fashion world? Have I done a degree in fashion? No. I do have a degree though, of which admittedly I haven't made tremendous use out of, but has served me well in my life. Sorry, I'm just regaining some brow. This is the second fashion exhibit that I have been to. The first one was Chanel. I will link the video up above, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and actually going with the same group of girlfriends, so very much looking forward to a catch-up and also immersing ourselves in culture because we're going to an art gallery. I can use that term. Mostly we'll probably just be chatting away and hating and rating what we see, much like window shopping. My second-hand knowledge of Alexander McQueen as a designer actually comes from a very trivial place. I used to watch this show called Ladies of London, and I'm so sad they didn't put a 3rd season out. I used to really love that show, but one of the women in that show, who has sadly passed on unfortunately, she was apparently Alexander McQueen's muse at the time, and she served him much inspiration and was one of his best friends. So after he passed, unfortunately, she became severely depressed, and what I didn't find out, they didn't say on the show, but in the papers I saw that she had passed on due to a health reason, but I think in the background we all might have speculated that perhaps her depression may have got the best of her, which is very sad. How novice of me, I have forgotten my eye makeup. So let's just take this moment to chat about Alexander McQueen. So basically all I know is that he was quite a young fashion designer, quite talented, and his pieces were not quite typical. They were quite out there, I believe. But seeing as my knowledge of Alexander McQueen, the man and the designer, was quite limited, I did a little bit of Googling just to get a bit of inspiration ahead of tonight. And I always think it's best to go prepared to such things, because I not only want to get a bit of eye candy, but I also want to learn something. I think it's just so redundant to immerse yourself in experience, and yet how can you unless you come armed with some kind of background knowledge of what you're walking into. So what I found out is that McQueen was an ordinary man who loved women. Loved them so much, in fact, that all his pieces were designed in mind of the fact of protecting them or arming them, hence why he's very much into headpieces, and a lot of his designs do reflect some kind of armor or helmet style accessories. Also an extremely creative man who could basically get inspired by drawing blood from a stone, so super creative man for his very short time on this planet, and is fully deserving of still being celebrated to this day in the way of his fashion house. It's barely their knowledge, which I'm sure is only 1/10 of the man, I am going to use to inform my outfit choices tonight. And I would have loved it to inspire my makeup, however I lack the creativity and confidence to go for a really extreme makeup look. I have learnt from experience that one should always go for a safe makeup look if one has not ever done an extreme one before. So I'm going to play it safe and just go for a very natural evening look. To be fair, I could actually go in what I am wearing right now, which is officially my new Get Ready With Me outfit that you have not seen yet, but I'm very excited to show you. I was going to wait for another vlog, but I will give you a little glimpse into what I'm wearing, and to be quite fair, it'd be a lot easier if I could just go in what I was wearing right now, because it is in fact loungewear slash pajamas. Gosh, that's very pale, isn't it? That was my NYX lingerie gloss, but I'll add a little bit of my Chanel, which they don't make anymore. The Chanel Glossy Myrrh in the pink, just to add a bit more brightness to the lips. That's a bit better. Just a bit more definition. Now, I am predicting there are going to be quite a few fashionistas there. Chanel obviously was an exhibit. Well, Chanel is the founder of fashion, so everyone dressed quite up extremely well, but also modestly and traditionally, I'd say, when I went to the exhibit. But Alexander McQueen, however, I feel like is going to be a different vibe. So I'm a little bit intimidated to pick an outfit for tonight. I actually know one of the girls is going to be wearing their, well, it could be classed as sleepwear, to the exhibit tonight and going for a bit of a feathery look. I don't have any feathers in my wardrobe, but what I think I might draw upon is what's already in my closet and see what I can create, channeling my inner McQueen. Now, we are running out of time very quickly, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. In fact, keeping this brief is the biggest challenge of my lifetime. I am drawing on McQueen's nod to the military with armor, so the first thing that pops into my mind is military jacket, of which I have a few options. So both of these, no, in fact one of these you have seen before. I wore this jacket for our mock wedding anniversary when I came down with COVID, unfortunately, and couldn't celebrate. However, this is not as military as I believed it to be. It's more of a tuxedo jacket. As you can see, the lapels are quite extended all the way down. So I think this might be more appropriate, even though I wasn't intending to go this casual. But this denim jacket by Cuba, which I have to admit is not a brand that I shop from. I actually saw my auntie wear the exact same jacket quite a few years ago, and she noticed that I loved it so much that she went and bought me the same one for my birthday. So have held on to this and haven't worn it that many times, but I think to go in costume, and it's the only piece seemingly my wardrobe right now that is a nod to the military, I think I'm going to build my outfit around this jacket. Now, I can hear you all screaming behind the camera when I reveal what is going underneath the military jacket. I'm in a hurry, so time is of the essence, and my mind draws back to the tried and true saying, you can never go wrong with an all black outfit. So that's exactly what I'm going to be putting under the military jacket, and I thought I'd go for a two-piece here, only because of the fact I have one black slip skirt and it's a size, well, 2 sizes too small. I've had this for many years, but obviously changed sizes with the children, so thought I would hide that fact by either laying over or just tucking in on the side a silk cami, but I will redeem myself. I'm going to toughen up the entire look by adding a combat boot. So I feel altogether, whilst this might be a bit more of a reserved Alexander McQueen look compared to the other fashionistas out there, I'm still keeping on theme. But let's see how this looks all together. From pink princess to military grunge, let me quickly show you what my Get Ready With Me outfit is, because I am tossing between the fact that yes, I could probably wear this out. It's not forbidden, but it is a bit of a risk. Now, for those of you in the know, immediately you will know what brand this lounge suit is from. It has their calling card, which is the dramatic ruffled sleeves and also a ruffled flare, which I couldn't resist. This is a lounge suit by Sleeper. I will go through the details of this outfit in another vlog, because this is not why we are here today. However, the beauty of this lounge suit is that it can be worn out as a day look to an event such as Alexander McQueen. However, It is going to be a little bit cold tonight, and I also want to be blending in with other people that may be wearing more grungy or more extreme looks, so I don't think Pink Princess belongs at the exhibit tonight. But let not fear determine who we are, you just be who you are. That's what fashion is all about. Classic example of do as I say, don't do as I do. Switching out the crown for a black one. Running out of time and battery, it seems, although I do need to be regulated and my camera keeps me on time. So getting picked up very, very soon. I'm riding with a friend tonight, which is wonderful, so I don't have to drive. What are friends for but to give a friendly lift when needed, so I'm very, very grateful to her for that. This is the final look, and yes, I can be accused of being a little bit too safe with this. However, I was shopping my closet and I actually love doing this because you end up wearing things that you wouldn't usually wear. As they say, necessity is the mother of invention, a saying which I absolutely live by. I think everything looks really cohesive, and I'm all for keeping outfits very modest and tonal, and even in events like this it's always important to lean in to a personal style, because at the end of the day you do have to feel comfortable in what you're wearing and still maintain that little bit of you. And I do think this is still me under all the armory of the military buttons and the combat boots. I still very much feel like me, and also feel very, very comfortable to be walking leisurely around an exhibit. Also notice the added detail of the military buttons on the cuff, of which there's quite many of them. Almost too many, but I really, really like that detail, to the point where I don't really feel like I have to add any jewellery apart from my gold hoops, and just let the other gold accessories do the talking. As for the bag, for the final touch, I could go for Old Faithful. My old unbranded faithful friend who basically goes with everything, but I have to say this extra touch of gold on the strap is not giving to this outfit. It's more clashing. So I think I'm going to go for an all black bag. This one I found at Zara, of which you would have seen me, well, it would have been my anniversary going out bag, but now it's officially going on its first trip out. And I also think the extravagance of the strap goes with the exhibition, as the strap itself is a piece of art. I swear this bag is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. It is such an art piece for such a reasonable price. She very much blends with the outfit. She's here, but she's not in your face, and I'm ready to head out. So let's go to Alexander McQueen. I am so excited. I have no idea what's to come in front of me, but I will take you along, and let's immerse ourselves in fashion history and culture. I'm in the bathroom. I've just finished from the bathroom. I just thought I'd share. Just came back from the exhibition. It was an early night actually, and wow, it was eye-opening. I tell you what, I joke about fashion, but that was fashion. That exhibition was just so creative and really delved into the mind of someone who was a real creative genius, to be quite fair. I didn't really know much about Alexander McQueen, only that I loved his belt so much, and I do own a pair of trainers by him, but obviously the brand will never be the same without him, to be honest, and now I know why he was so special. He was the head designer for Givenchy just out of high school. In the first 2 years of him in the fashion industry, he rose to the top, which I can see why. I saw a brief story of him as we entered, and it basically explained that his imagination had no limits, and at school he filled up his workbooks with fashion illustrations. That was his driving passion, and to have a driving passion like him, honestly, that in itself is inspiring. So I felt like my outfit tonight did a little bit of homage to him, but not quite so. In fact, I probably should have worn a headdress, because headdresses and armory were really prominent throughout the exhibition, and I loved the idea that, what was it? I saw a quote in there. Let me find it. That's right. I want people to be afraid of the women that I dress. That real protective stance on women, and it was powerful. It was, his collections empowered women, celebrated women, and yes, protected women. And there was an element of like a fear factor in them, because there was such strong, I guess, characters, and each design was such a strong entity to itself. So what an amazing man, and so sad that his life ended so quickly. He had so much talent. I also didn't know he was Scottish, so I really enjoyed the Scottish portion of the exhibition as well, and also learned a few things, that apparently tartan back in the day only could be worn by the Scottish military, so there's a fun fact. I'm sure I picked up a few more, but can't think about them now. I'm feeling a bit queasy. I didn't drink that much. I just had, well, 2 glasses of champagne, but just a bit, oof. I don't often eat this late, but I feel like I need a little snackaroo, and I'm not quite sure what I feel like. But basically his imagination really literally did have no limits. Each collection that he released was basically homage to a different culture, to a different time, to a different period, even art periods. He could have just kept going, and such a shame that it came to such an end. But yeah, I'm not sure. I really haven't looked into the fashion brand recently, but I wonder what they're doing to represent him now. It doesn't quite do him justice, really, I'm thinking. But anyway, companies do have to make money. And in the meantime, I'm thinking about what I need to eat. I feel like rice, and I never feel like rice. Anyway, me and my glasses and my earrings are gonna call it a night, and I'll check in with you hopefully quite soon. Also enjoying the fact that I could see everything tonight with my new spectacles. More on those. This is a brand new style for me. I don't usually go for a thin gold frame like the grandma style, but I must say I'm loving the grandma life. Not only are they comfortable, but they match all my gold accessories, so can't complain about that. Even with the giant nose pads, it won't stop me. It won't stop me from seeing the world. Hello everyone, very different vibes today. Wow. As you heard me divulge already, that Alexander McQueen, I wouldn't even call it just an art exhibit. It was an experience, it was an immersion. It really has added to my cultural knowledge and appreciation of fashion houses, because fashion at its core is an art form, and for the people that really do appreciate the human form and how it can be a canvas to the inner person, projecting outwards, it's just, wow, I can see there's just so much more to fashion than just picking off a piece of clothing from a rack. And what a sad loss to the fashion world that we no longer have Alexander McQueen the man. His fashion house is also quite different to what I feel it was. So it would not be today typically a place that I would shop for often. However, I do love some of his accessories. You've heard me bang on about the double wrap belt, of which one day, people, one day. But today is not that day. Today is the day that my little babies take their first big steps out into the world. And no, these are babies outside my own children. This is the fact that I'm clearly trying very hard to be the gardener that I've always wanted to be and grow something successfully. There is just something about making something from nothing. I am just blurting out an array of sayings of which I seemingly live my life by. Living a life in quotes. Very, very odd way to live. Anyway, one cannot do the part without looking the part. So this is my official gardening vest. This is from Amazon. I will link it down below. I've actually had this for a few years, but I believe they're still making it. It's got a faux leather trim, I believe, and quilting. But what I loved about this jacket is that it came with pockets and also came with a bit of a tapered waist, which you don't see in many puffer vests these days, especially cheap ones from Amazon. Anyway, let me show you the rest of my gardening outfit before we actually go out and do the actual gardening. I didn't even mention what was going into the garden. My goodness. So if you have been tuning into my channel, I just assume everyone has, when really nobody has. So for those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't know, in my last vlog, which I will leave linked, I decided to save the tail ends of the bok choy that I used in stir fry, put them in some water, and they have now sprouted some leaves, so are ready to now be planted in the garden, and apparently they just grow like that. Well, that's the plan. I'm going to move the rug aside because I think it's been through enough. The official Her Majesty recommended gardening outfit, and I say Her Majesty because these boots, which are the famous hunter wellies, or in this part of the world gum boots, are actually commissioned by the Queen. So this brand Hunter has the Queen's approval, so what they must use personally when they go out for their gardening or hunting expeditions or whatever royals like to do. And we all know that I am just one step away from being an absolute princess. So I just had to get these wellies. These are in the slim variety. They come in a range of styles, but I went for the slim because I like a more tapered look, and also love the fact that they came with this buckle detail on the side. Just adds a little design element. I actually purchased these last year, but they're still available to shop because they have a standard range, and I will link the video up above if you like a good shoe unboxing. So, Amazon vest, hunter wellies. These are just some old Lorna Jane leggings, which are so supportive and comfortable, and I love the chocolate brown tying in with the brown on the vest. And this is just another staple basic 3/4 sleeve from Cotton On. So, looking the part, feeling the part, now let's just hope that my seedlings will follow suit and also end up looking the part when they're fully grown. Progress report on the bok choy. It looks like they are ready for planting. So the shoots have come up from the middle about, I'd say, a good 3 inches, I think. And apparently when you plant them up until where the leaves have started to sprout. So we'll get that done. We have added to the array of, well, I guess planting from scraps. It's like almost like having a bulb, I guess, for free. So cut this off the bottom of my cauliflower and have been pumping it with water from this little saucer. Not quite sure how this one will go, but I'll give it a bit more time before we take it outside. And this is the bottom of a lettuce head, which, to be quite frank, I haven't seen really doing much, and it looks a bit grotty on the bottom. I haven't researched this, but I thought, well, why not stick it in the ground and see what happens. So I guess this new segment of the vlogs will be called Come Plant With Me. brief escapade in the garden. It is now ready to feed the children, head on to lunch and get on with the day. I hope you all took something away from this vlog. I know that I did, and I actually loved reliving all the moments from the exhibition and just getting inspired. Nothing like a bit of fresh inspiration to inject into your daily style and your daily life. That's my call to summon. I better go. All outfit links will be down below in the description box. I would appreciate your subscription and you liking this video despite all the background ambience. Take care, my lovelies, and I will see you very shortly. Bye.